So for our next video, I'm not going to be doing an Atlantis one because I need to thank all of you for subscribing. We hit 1,000 subscribers. Why did I say we? Am I supposed to say we? I don't know. But there's over 1,000 of you here, and I just wanted to thank you all for subscribing and enjoying the videos and deciding to stick around to hear the rest of the story. Because of that, I'm going to celebrate by doing a Q&A video. With that, I guess I can start with the first question here, which is, when you record your videos, do you do it all in one go, or do you have multiple takes? Do you do, like, write a full script ahead, use bullet points, or just let the ramble flow free? And I'm gonna have that one as the first one because, for example here, I don't do multiple takes. I usually just kind of try to do it all in one go with maybe pausing in between to let myself breathe. And whatnot while I edit things out, or I like little noises or something that's not there, or if I end up tripping over myself, then I re-record it and everything. And I also write out a full script for me to read off of, because otherwise I'm going to end up rambling for way too long and I won't know when to stop. But that's not going to be the case with this video. This one I will actually just kind of go free. I will be a free me and answer the questions. Yeah! So yeah, besides the minor editing like usual, this is just going to be frickin' we're doing it live! Let's go! So, for first questions that I've kind of gathered, which I got over on Twitter because I wasn't able to make a post on YouTube, sorry. Maybe next time I can, but for now, I'm only doing the questions I've gotten on Twitter. We'll start with game-related questions. So the first one is, did you have a favorite tutorial to make, or make art for? And I have to say, my favorite tutorial that I made, like when I ran it at the time, was probably Karth's, because actually his tutorial was based off of a dream that I had. Yeah, I have very interesting dreams. A lot of them are very good session fuel. So I had a lot of fun doing his just because it's like, now you get to go through the horror that I went through, Karth. But for the art of the tutorials and the videos, I really enjoyed making Quinn's art, just because it was really cool, and also because Cammy, like, screams about her story, like, all the time. I was just excited to make something for her to look at and scream about again, and I really enjoyed the concept. Though, doing the one for Mateo's was probably my favorite one to actually, like, color and do all the effects and whatnot for, because it was just a good day, a good art day, so it just felt right. Next question, number 2. What would you say is your most exciting moment during a tabletop roleplay game? No. This is really hard. This is really hard to answer. I would have to say that my most exciting moments are probably when I get the killing blow on my personal story villains. Like, I got the killing blow on the horrible captain in one of my character, Noella's, story arc in the game. And it was so great. And then just, recently in a Waterdeep game, our team ended up confronting this NPC called Manchun, who is such a tough-ass fucking villain. God, I do not recommend actually fighting him, but we fought him, and I got the killing blow on him. He wasn't a personal story thing, but everyone around got knocked out because we broke a staff of power. That's not recommended, and long story short, it was just very satisfying to just kill that man who we were not supposed to be able to kill, and especially kill him in a rage because of, like, someone disappeared and almost my entire team was killed. So, very dramatic and like intense moment. It was a lot of fun. The third question, what stories you've read, watched, experienced, or serve as sources of inspiration when creating a story? What went into Atlantis? That's also kind of hard to say. It's always hard to say, like, what inspires me for things, with stories and whatnot, because I'm not really sure I can say much of, inspiration that can, like, be a whole thing about it, because I just kind of, they just end up kind of happening, and, like, from one thing that I like, and then it develops out into this entire thing to where, like, really can't recognize, like, an inspiration anymore. Like, obviously there is definitely, like, the movie Atlantis, which I absolutely loved, mainly because, like, you know, it's not this whole, like people Greek Rome, I'm suddenly forgetting which one it is, oh god, please don't come for me on that. But, like, I just liked how they made it so out there, and I wanted to do that too. But, and it basically, I made a fish person, and then it just kind of blew up from there in a lot of ways, that I don't want to say just yet, because I think that would be spoiling. So, you know, we'll just have fun, and then I think as we go on in the story, I'll point out more inspirations and whatnot as we go, and maybe future Q&As. Number 4, anything you wish you could have brought into the Atlantis campaign after the fact or after a particular moment? Oh god, yeah, I wish I had brought more fucking thought into my game when I started it, because for a large majority of the first season and the and half of the second season was just running around and doing a bunch of random things, and just, it didn't actually have, like, a direction to go in. I was just more like running a monster of the week kind of thing, which, like, is fine and that's fun, but that wasn't supposed to be how the game, like, that's not the kind of game that I was supposed to be doing, is the problem. So I wish that I had, like, planned out more on having an actual course for them to end up at Atlantis, but I ended up figuring it out, like, along the way in the middle of season 2, so, you know, hey, it all worked out in the end. But yeah, I really wish I had planned more, and I really wish that I had not brought in as much as I did, because a lot of the things were just extra and unneeded and would have been better off as their own game, rather than part of this. So that's something that I always kind of think about. Number 5. What campaigns have you been a part of up until now? I have played in, like, 14, I think. And I actually, like, wrote down this answer, like, ahead of time because I knew it would take so long for me to think. It's like, oh god, how many games have I been in? I've been in, like, at least 14, and probably, like, a couple or something more. And I've guested in, like, and I played as, like, a little guest role in multiple friends campaigns and whatnot, and I have only actually ran 3 games up to this point. 2 I've finished. One is Atlantis, another is named Test of Luck, which was a really short one, it was like 9 sessions, and then I have one that I'm currently running that's called Ghoul School. So I've been in a lot of them, but hardly any of them have actually ever finished, because they either fell apart because, like, you know, schedules, the worst enemy of tabletop games, or life, or I just, you know, left because of my own reasons. So I've only been in games that have finished, like, maybe 2, 3, or something? Yeah. That, next question, 6. did you have any crippling fears when you first started GMing? If so, how do you think you've improved? My main fear, I think, when I started GMing was being able to properly convey and explain things, because words are not my strong suit. I blank on words like a lot, especially in the moment, and like it's just describing things is hard. And when you're talking, and then I'm also not a voice actor, but I'm trying my best. And yeah, I just I was scared that I wouldn't really make sense, and so I did like a couple test runs and whatnot, but it was fine, and yeah, it just kind of went. At that time, I didn't really think too much besides that fact, and, you know, kind of figured that actually, like, hey, you don't have to be some goddamn, like, award-winning fucking novelist that can, like, write a beautiful string of poetry to describe a fucking scene to do this. Like, if you just describe it and, like, freaking whatever wording that you use, and it doesn't even always have to be serious either, because my wording is definitely not always serious, it's still good, and people still have fun. And if people don't have fun, well then you're just not a good mix, and, like, that's okay, as long as neither of you are dicks about it. And, you know, you just get your own good mix. I guess with the good mix, I was also worried about not having, like, a good mix of players. Like, what if I got someone that was bad, or what if I was bad? And I think that's normal. And frankly, like, sadly, it's just gonna happen. No matter what. You're gonna end up with the player that just doesn't mix well with how you do, and they don't mix well like with you or what you would like, and that's okay, that's fine. It doesn't make them an awful person, and it doesn't make you a bad GM. Some things just don't work, and that's okay. And so you just part and you kind of continue on and you learn. Yes. So it's just something that you end up having to deal with, but it's okay. So it was probably that, but how I have improved, I just realized I didn't specify on that. I just how did I improve? I put a little bit more thought into the players and their characters and doing stuff for them, and how to have fun and to incorporate things that they like, and to actually keep track of that, and to not just be focused on myself and be focused on my own world, because this is something that is also mixing them in. So I can't just focus on my own world and all that stuff, because it's like, I don't want to just run a show for players to just watch. They're there to be part of it. They're there to add their own flavor, and so I think I, like, throughout the years ended up learning how to actually work with that and combine the flavors of my world and them to, like, spice it up, if that makes sense. Question number 7. Out of all the sessions that I've played, which moment or event was your favorite? I mean, I already kind of talked about the killing blow thing, but I guess the other moment that was, like, one of my favorites was, between, my character that, like, Noella in my Dungeons & Dragons game, where, she ran into the arms of her boyfriend, and, like, it was a very emotional moment, because freaking, like, she had a breakdown. There was a separation that happened during, like, a pirate raid, but then she was brought back, and as soon as she saw him, she, like, ran up to him and just, like, jumped into his arms as they were, like, just both soot covered and kind of beaten from fighting all these pirates and just crying, and she just apologized for him for, like, leaving his side, and he talked about how scared he was, and then he said that he loves her. And I think that's one of my favorite moments, just, like, the first, like, saying of I love you in such a moment. I loved it so much. Okay. Then question number 8. How long did your campaign last for? And do you plan on completing the series on YouTube? My campaign went on for like 3 years or something. Like, it was like 3 years, like in some months. And I do plan on completing the series on YouTube. Absolutely. I definitely want to try my best to do that. And I don't know, I guess I'll have Cammy kick my ass if I ever like start to lag on that, but I want to so bad, and so I hope that I am able to achieve that. So definitely yes. And then question number 9, what's your approach to GMing? How much of your campaign is improvised and how much of it is planned? Oh man, a lot of it is kind of improvised. Yeah, I did so much improvise. As I kind of said before, like, I had the whole general thought of, like, you know, I want them to find Atlantis. But then as soon as I started my game, it took me so long to actually have a definite fucking route for them to go along and, like, to actually find fucking Atlantis. And so I do a lot of improv. But I've been learning to plan more. And so now basically what I do is that I have, like, you know, point A, point B, and then I don't really make a route for how they get to point A and B. I just, like, you guys are at point A. Here are some hints for point B. Figure out your own route that you want to take and just go. And just toss them out the door. Just, like, go. You'll find your way to California on your own. I don't care. And, like, that's just kind of how I do things now, I guess. So, yeah. Number 10, do you have any other campaigns you'd like to share on YouTube? I do plan on doing a video talking about, my D&D girl, Noella, in a game that I play in, because she got quite popular and questioned about on Cammy's channel, as well as her friend Zero. So I plan on doing a video talking about her and him and whatnot with his player. But for other games that I ran myself, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of focused on Atlantis right now, and like I've said, I've only finished one other campaign, which was Test of Luck, which was basically about a demon that just kidnapped 3 people and then sent them through the 9 layers of hell to help him with his demon homework. So, I mean, if people want to hear about that, I guess I could do that if you want to. But yeah, like as a short little side series, I don't know, you can let me know if you want to hear that story or something in the comments. And then 11. Who was my first D&D character? Now, I'm gonna have like kind of 2 answers for this, because my first D&D character was the girl that I've been mentioning a couple times here, who was Noella. She is my half-elf swashbuckler rogue, and I love her so much. She is my first D&D character, and I'm still playing her currently. Her game is still going. But my first, like, tabletop game character, because my first campaign wasn't in D&D, it was actually in World of Darkness. My first tabletop character, her name was Janine Casano. She was this wonderful, kind, like, motherly woman that had to take on the role of mom in her household after an accident where her mother died. She is African-Mexican mix, and she has vitiligo, and I love her so much. She, she's so good, so strong. She take care of people, but she protect and she attack. Very good. Question number 12. What's your favorite RPG system that you've played? And what RPG system would you like to try someday? My favorite RPG that's so hard. Because, like, I haven't actually played that many, different systems, actually. I've only played World of Darkness and, Dungeons and Dragons. So, like, 5th edition. And I like them both, like, a lot. So, like, I can't really choose which one I like to play. The ones that I like to GM, I can definitely tell you that I prefer to GM World of Darkness, because Dungeons and Dragons has like too much that you have to like keep track of and create and all this. Like it has so much that like my ADHD is like, I can't. Well, World of Darkness like gives me a lot more freedom to just bullshit and just like go about it on the fly and just kind of go with it like as my brain empty, which I prefer because yeah. So that, but a system that I would really like to try to play someday is Call of Cthulhu. I want to try it so bad. Please, I want horror. Give me. Give me it. Then, 13. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite color of the alphabet? Ah, yes. December. No. Okay, but really, the question that they wrote at the end as a serious thing here was what... I run around in circles. Let's try that again. But really, was the Atlantis campaign the first tabletop RPG you ever played? If not, what was it and what made you love RPG? The Atlantis campaign is not something that I played, it is something that I ran. The Atlantis campaign is something that I made up fully on my own, so it's not like a module or anything out there that other people can play. It's just mine. It is something that I made and that I ran people through. It was the first tabletop game that I ever made myself, and it was also the first one that I ever GM'd myself. So, yeah. But the first game that I played was a World of Darkness game of hunters that just regular people that got dunked into the supernatural world unwillingly, and then they had to go fight and do all this stuff, and it was just a lot of fun because, well, it was roleplay, and I've been roleplaying since I was like 11. But this one had like a lot more options and things out of your control. It actually brought variety because of you using dice, and like it just opened up so many options, especially like sometimes you just don't want to be the 12-year-old that's like everything goes right, or like all that stuff and whatnot when you're role-playing and you get to decide how things turn out. And this way, you don't decide how it turns out, and you don't know what's happening. Like, someone else is putting you through their story, and I absolutely love it, because I think that there are so many people out there that have so many creative stories and, like, ideas and everything that is, like, so great, but they do not have the, what's it called? The usual way that people assume stories to be told is through media of books or through media of art. Like, it can be comic books or it can be animated. However, not everyone like has the ability or time to write out a fucking book and to like try to even like do it as a comic or anything like that. Like, it's just you can't. And so I think that doing like a tabletop game is a way to get their stories out there, to have it actually happen and fulfilled, and I absolutely love that. I love that so much, and like this is also something that's good for me, because I am also a person with many stories but not that much time. So yeah, I think it's because of that. I just love role-playing, and I love stories, and I love characters, and it's what made me love roleplay games. So, I had other questions here about, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other questions here, but I feel like this video is kind of getting pretty long, because of my bad habit of rambling. So I think I'll save these other questions for the next Q&A that I do in the future. I'm really sorry about all the people, I'm gonna try to speak, oh god, I'm gonna try to talk English again. Okay, here we go. I am sorry to all the people to who I did not get to your question. I have them saved, I have them all saved here in this document. and I'm going to have them at the top of my list of what to answer the next time that I do a Q&A. I promise. So yeah, I think I'm going to end it here. Again, sorry about how it's kind of all around. This is just how I am when I'm talking. So this is me not scripted. And this is also me just kind of flabbergasted, and again, very thankful for everyone that subscribed. It means a lot to me, and I'm very excited to continue to show you more of the story and everything else. So yeah, I guess there I will end it here, and the next video will be... God, I was doing so well! I was doing so well! I'm totally a cool person, but okay. The next video will be Atlantis. That's what I was trying to say. We'll be back to Atlantis next week, and well, I will see you then. So keep your heads above water. Bye.